Hello children, how are you? I hope that everybody are fine and safe at home. This is your Saubhagya madam and I am back with another session of Animal Fiber. So children, we were learning about lesson 3, Animal. So in our last video, we have learned about the first two stages of the silkworm cycle. How the silk is formed from the silk moth, the Bombaxi mori. Okay children. Now we will see the third step. In this third step, it is the formation of fiber from the cocoon. So now the cocoons are ready. So these cocoons, after stiffling, they have been packed and they are sold in the markets. As I said, there are different areas where the markets are there to sell these cocoons. Now once the cocoons are brought from the market, what will happen? See, the cocoons which were brought from the market are set up for boiling. There are large pots in which these cocoons are being boiled. Why this boiling happens? If still some larvae are present in these cocoons even after stiffling, so that causes damage to the cocoons. To protect the cocoons from the damage, here the boiling process is being started. Okay, children. So the boiling is done to obtain the silk fiber. Now the stiffened silk fiber which was there in the cocoons have to be reeled up. Reel means now they are converted into the fabric. See children, they have to, I said that the cocoons have the reeling, outer reeling in which the larvae is present. Now the unwinding of this reels have to be done. Why? Because if you want to prepare any fabric or any dress or any sari, so what they have to do, they need some threads. The silk have to be in the form of threads, which is very easy for the weavers to weave the saris. Especially the silk is used for preparing silk saris. Okay children. Now the boiling is done to obtain the silk fiber. What is this silk fiber? The silk fiber contains protein in it. What does this contain children? Protein in it. What are the different kinds of proteins that are present in the silk fiber? The proteins are sericin and the fibrin. So what are the two proteins that are present in this silk fiber children? Sericin and fibrin. These are present in the cocoons. The silk thread which is present in the cocoon contain these two proteins, sericin and fibrin. So because of this protein content in the cocoons, the stiffness or the strength of the silk fiber is seen. Okay children. So once the boiling have been done, now the process of unwinding is started. How this unwinding procedure is started? For the unwinding of the silk threads, the process like reeling is being done. See children, in our homes we have reels or thread reels. If you want to stitch any cloth, we are having reels. Yes, in the same way, the reeling of these silk fiber have to be done so that it will be very easy for the weavers. If they want to weave any clothes, then the reels of these silk fibers will make the work very easy. So the reeling, how this reeling is done? The reeling is done with special machines like reelers and twisters. So special machinery is also used here. I said in the starting, many people are involved from stage 1 till to get the fiber in the last stage. See, we have seen many people from many different areas. How the silk moths are being purchased, how the eggs are being laid, how they are being transferred from one tray to another trays, and how the cocoons are prepared. See children, many people are being involved in this, and also many processes are also being involved in this preparation of silk fiber. So here the reeling technique is used by the help of the machineries like reelers and twisters. ఇక్కడ reelers అంటే ఏమీ లేదు, చుట్టడం అన్నమాట. చక్కగా మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఆ వచ్చిన సిల్క్ దారాన్ని ఏం చేస్తామంటే పెద్ద పెద్ద మషిన్స్ ఉంటాయి, రీలర్స్, వాటి ద్వారా వాటిని ఏమంటే చక్కగా ఇలా చుట్టుతారు. చుట్టిన తర్వాత ఏంటంటే ఒక చక్కని థ్రెడ్ లాగా అది మనకి షైనీగా థ్రెడ్ లాగా ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. దాన్ని క్యారీ చేయడానికి కానీ దాంతో వర్క్ చేయాలన్నా కూడా మనకి అది చాలా ఈజీగా కంఫర్టబుల్గా ఉంటుంది. సో ఇన్ దిస్ వే the reeling is done by using the special machineries like reelers and the twisters. Okay children. Okay, the yarn. So now we are in the process of getting the silk fiber completely. The fiber is nothing but the yarn. Okay, the yarn is now ready. So the yarn is collected, cleaned, bleached and colored. So the reeling technique have been done. From the reelers, the yarn is now collected. తీసుకొని ఏం చేస్తారు దాన్ని, they have to be cleaned. First the cleaning have to be done, then the bleaching will be done, and then the coloring will be done. See children, here you have to notice one important point. All the sarees or all the fabric which are prepared by the silk is not of same color. Yes, if you wanted to wear different kinds or different colored clothes, the yarn have to be colored first. Then only we can get the different colored clothes when they were weaving on the looms. Okay children. So for that technique, what their people who are working there will do is they will collect the yarn from the reelers and then they again clean them properly. This is the final cleaning. Okay, they will clean. They will take this yarn for bleaching. Bleaching is done by because the color have to be applied onto the silk yarn. Okay, so the bleaching will be done and then the bleached yarn will go for coloring. Now this yarn which is colored in different colors are being set out for the next important process that is called as weaving. Okay children, see here. The main reeling centers are present in Nandikotpur, Hindupur, Dharmavaram, Madanapalli. So here in these areas, all these areas are specifically working on the weaving of the clothes. So the sericulture, from where the silk is being yarned, and the silk yarn which is produced being sent to these different areas where the weavers are present. Weavers are nothing but the people who prepare the sarees. Especially silk is mostly used for preparing sarees. Okay children, silk sarees or pattu cheeralu, you can call them in pattu cheeralu. I think you have heard this word. So Nandikotpur, Hindupur, Dharmavaram, Madanapalli. So these are the major centers where the weaving is done. Okay, sorry, where the reeling is done, and even in these places also certain weavers are present, where after reeling the yarn is sent to the weaving centers. The reels of this silk yarn is ready for weaving on the looms. Looms ante entante maggalu, మనకు తెలుగులో అయితే తెలుస్తుందేమో మగ్గము అనగా చీరలు నెయ్యడానికి, చీరల్ని తయారు చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేసే ఒక పెద్ద wooden instrument where the threads of the silk are been bundled and they are weaved on this looms. Okay children, by this the step 3 is completed. Next we will go for the last step, that is called as weaving. Now we will see about that. Okay children. So children, now we have come back to our last step. So what is our last step? Our last step is reeling to weaving. So up to now we were discussing about the reeling techniques, how the reeling is done, and after reeling how the fabric is been colored. Okay, now the fabric or the silk yarn is ready for weaving. Now what happens? So this silk yarn is been sent to the weavers. Who are these weavers? Weavers are the people who weave clothes, especially the sarees. Here children, the weaving is done on looms. Looms means maggam. Okay, so the weavers will weave the clothes by using different colored pattern silk threads to create different patterns on the sarees. See here children, I said that Dharmavaram is the famous city for the production of silk in large scale. So Dharmavaram is also called as Silk City of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Dharmavaram is also called as Silk City of Andhra Pradesh. So here the people who are living in Dharmavaram, most of the people here are weavers. Most of the people who are living in Dharmavaram are weavers. Their weaving technique is a traditional occupation. వాళ్ళది అది ఒక తరతరాలుగా వారి కుటుంబాల్లో ఈ నేయడం, బట్టలు నేయడం అనేది వాళ్ళ కుల వృత్తిగా ఉంటుంది. ఓకే చిల్డ్రన్. సో ఎస్పెషల్లీ ద brands like Venkatagiri and Dharmavaram. These are the two famous types of silk that is produced from these two areas, Venkatagiri and Dharmavaram. These are very famous in India. The Venkatagiri sarees and the Dharmavaram sarees, which are especially woven by the weavers by using the silk threads, are very famous. Along with that, Dharmavaram. Why Dharmavaram is more famous? Why? Because here the sarees which are weaved are having specific pattern. If you ask your mothers to show you a pattu saree, you can get an idea how is the saree. The saree is very soft and silky to touch. Okay children. If you see the borders, the outer and inner borders are very broad in Dharmavaram sarees. They have big borders. And also all over the saree there is a specific pattern of buttas or dots. If you observe the saree, then you can say the quality or the shining or the work done by the weavers are very specific in the sarees. Okay children. So because of those wide borders and rich buttas and dot works which are done on the sarees, the Dharmavaram sarees have become world famous. Okay. Not only in Dharmavaram, not only in India, not only in Andhra Pradesh, there are other places in India where the silk sarees have been produced. See, we will see the names. The Banaras, Kanchipuram, Narayanpet, Kottakota, Pochampalli. Have you ever heard these names children? These are the names of the places where the silk yarn is produced. Based upon the city or the place where the silk is found, the saree was named after that. See, the Banaras sarees, the Kanchipuram sarees. These Kanchipuram sarees are world famous sarees. Especially they are having specific unique patterns which are prepared by the weavers on the looms. The Banaras, Kanchipuram, Narayanpet, Kottakota and Pochampalli. If you see here, the traditional weavers weave the sarees with different patterns. See, Banaras is not similar as Kanchipuram, or Kanchipuram is not similar as Narayanpet, or it is not similar as Pochampalli. Each area silk is of specific importance, and the sarees which are made by the weavers are having specific patterns. Okay, so depending upon the silk in which area they are produced and also the patterns which the weavers are weaving on the sarees have brought a specific importance for all these areas. Okay, Banaras, Kanchipuram, Narayanpet, Kottapet, Pochampalli, Dharmavaram, all these are very important in India and especially in Andhra Pradesh, where the finest form of the silk is being produced. Okay children. Apart from all these Kanchipuram, Benares, Dharmavaram, Pochampalli, Kottapeta, all these sarees or the silk produced, there are other varieties of silks that are also produced in Andhra Pradesh. See, we are also having Tussar silk, Muga silk, Kosa silk, Eri silk. See children, maybe you are very unfamiliar with all these silk sarees. But if you go and ask your parents or especially your mother, they can let you know more about these sarees. You may think why we are learning about these sarees. See children, this is specially a fiber which is produced from the animals. We should not forget this. The fiber which is produced from the animals which have a strong protein present in it can produce such kind of silk. See, these are also varieties of silks that are produced in Andhra Pradesh. See, the tussar silk, muga silk, kosa silk and eri silk. These are the other varieties of silk. And not only the silk, the silk yarn is also used to prepare other materials like crepe and satin. To prepare this crepe and satin material, the silk fiber yarn is treated with some kind of chemicals. The silk yarn is treated with some kind of chemicals, and the new fibers like satin and crepe, the new yarn, they have given a special name to them, the satin and crepe. So silk saris, satin saris, crepe saris. All these are the different byproducts of the silk yarn which we are getting from the Bombaxi moth fly. Okay, children. See, this tussar silk is also called as Desali silk. What it is, children? The tussar silk is also called as Desali silk, which is produced in our state. So, where we can find this tussar silk, or in which areas we can find it? Especially the moths. Some species of the silk moths which are producing the pure form of the silk, they also feed on the other kind of plants like Terminalia oak plantation. So the pure form where we are getting from the Dharmavaram and all those places, there the silk is coming from the mulberry leaves. The moths or the larva which is feeding upon the mulberry plantation is giving the purest form of the silk. And apart from the mulberry plants, here the Terminalia oak plantation. These are especially seen in the coastal areas. This plantation is seen in the coastal areas. Some other kinds of species are also feeding on these leaves. See, children, the moths or the silkworms feed up on only the leaves. They don't eat any other material. Okay, they simply feed on the leaves, and their life cycle is also very less. They are having a lesser life cycle. So in an year, a silk producer who are doing this sericulture can harvest the product for 5 to 6 times in an year. See how often they are been used, or how often they are been killed. The silkworms are been killing themselves to produce the finest form of the silk. See here, the areas like Anantapuram, East Godavari, Visakhapatnam and some other coastal areas. So Anantapuram, East Godavari, Visakhapatnam and some other coastal areas are having this Terminalia oak plantation sources. So the moths which are feeding upon this plant or these leaves are producing a variety of silk called tussar silk. See children, here you have to keep few points in mind. First one, the names which I am using, or the places of the names of the places which I am using are the type of silk they are, the type of silk we are getting from those places. So silk is same, but from those places we are getting the silk, so the name was given so like that. Okay. Second one, there are different types of silks here. The purest form is there, which we are getting from the mulberry plantation, and also the second form of the silk which we are getting from the Terminalia oak plantation. So the moths which are feeding on these, the larvae which are feeding on these two kinds of plants are producing two kinds of silk yarn. Okay children. Third one, the silk, as I said, has some unique qualities like softness and shininess. They are very soft and strong also. They are soft, shiny and strong. Due to this character, they are being used in the weaving industry to prepare the saris. Especially silk is mostly used for preparing saris. Okay children. I hope you have understood the video up to now. From the stage 1 to stage 4, how the moths are being reared to produce the eggs and how the eggs are being feeded upon the mulberry leaves to produce the larvae. The larvae which are completely feeding upon the mulberry leaves to produce the gummy-like structure to form the pupa, and that pupa or the cocoon which is used for preparing the purest form of the silk. So this is the journey of the silk from stage 1 to stage 4. Children, I hope you have understood clearly about this. Before I end this session, I want to add few points to your video. Okay, the first point is, make sure listen to the video very carefully and go through the textbook. If you don't have textbook, madam, we don't have textbook. So what you have to do is, you have to go to the online and you have to download the PDF documentation of the textbook so that you can open the PDF and you can get the information, so you can read the textbook in online. Okay children, make sure you either buy the textbooks or download the document so that it will be very easy for you to understand the content which we were teaching to you. I hope you have understood everything, and make sure until we meet in the next video, do read the textbook, try to get more points from the textbook. Okay children, that's all for this video. Signing off, your Saubhagya ma'am. Thank you.